Well, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. This is Real Men Being Men. We're here every Tuesday night from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got what we call Four Square Conversation. Four Square Conversation. Now, what that is this. We have four different topics. We're here from 8 to 10. We talk about the topics 30 minutes apiece. Now, let me warn you, sometimes we get to all four of the topics. Sometimes we get to three topics, sometimes two. And on very rare occasions, but it does happen, we stick with one topic for the whole 2 hours, for the duration of the broadcast. So we call it Four Square Conversation. But if for whatever reason we don't cover all four squares, it's okay. We'll just hold those squares to the next week. I got three squares from last week. I'm gonna use one or two of them because I got some new ones too. So you know how it work out the way it work out. I'm just the question asker. I'm the question asker. My name is Raheen Ajman out of Atlanta, Georgia. We got two of my brothers. We got this. We brothers from this. We got the how to say the thing. We got different mothers, but we got the same father. I almost forgot how I said it, but look at here. We're gonna go to Captain Leonard first. Leonard, tell everybody who you are, where you're hailing from, and where were you planted.
This is Leonard Jones, the Vice President, New Order National Human Rights Organization. I am from Saginaw, Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm hailing from Covington, Georgia.
There you go. See, I had to say it that way because I know you got two different things going on with you. And we, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ryan, that's my brother from another mother, but we got the same father as well. I got it right that time. Tell everybody where you're hailing from, brother.
My name's Ryan, and I'm hailing from Detroit, Michigan.
Good deal. Good deal.
Detroit.
We got a few other brothers that's actually going to come on with us, and the phone lines are open. If you want to be a part of this conversation, you're more than welcome to give us a call. All you have to do is dial, very simple, dial 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. Let me see. Oh, good deal. Good deal. I'll read the screen. Now, Ryan, I'm going to start this off with you, brother. And the first question is this. When did you, outside of age, we're not thinking about age at all. But when did you realize that you were a man?
Uh, when did I realize I was a man?
Not like I said, they go through from that song like boys to men. The songs from boys to men. When did you
Yeah.
realize you transitioned from being a little boy, a young man, to now I am a man?
Probably when my first child was born.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even all the mess that I had gone through in my life and was doing to myself up until that age, it really didn't kick in
Mm-hmm.
to where all right, because I mean, no, that's probably not even true. I'm gonna go ahead and say I was about 14, and it was because I was living on the street, so I didn't have any alternative but to become a man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
sure, I was still a child at age, but I was responsible for a life, my own,
Mm-hmm.
and so I had to man up and start going to work, going to school, taking care of business however I could uh, to make sure that I survived. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna go with that.
Good deal. Good deal. Captain Leonard, when did you realize? And again, we're not talking about age. It has nothing to do with the age. But when did you realize you were a man?
I was around 12 or 13,
Mm-hmm.
and it was because I was taking responsibilities for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also uh, based on, custom and being born and raised in the church, that is about the time when you start accepting the responsibility of being a man
Mm-hmm.
on different levels. Because it was told as a story of Jesus around the same age had begun to be about his father's business, and he had put away childish things. So I was preparing to be, what I would become at that age.
Mm-hmm.
I was very independent. My parents didn't have to, didn't treat me like a child anymore. And even in my church family, I was respected as a man
Mm-hmm.
because I was responsible. I was in control of my behavior, and I was just a very reasonable and rational individual at that age. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't behave like a child.
Wow, that's good. Responsibility. That is a tremendous. That's a powerful word. That is a powerful word. Now, Ryan, you said that you was out on the street and you had to take certain responsibilities for yourself at a certain age. And then when you start having children, the responsibility, I know at that point it had to heighten on you. It had to heighten. Now it's someone outside of yourself, someone outside of me that I have to be responsible for. What did that do to you and to your manhood?
I'm not really sure it did anything to my manhood per se, but what it did was it brought me down. It humbled me.
Mm-hmm.
So um, when my first daughter was born, I was still a little wild, you know,
Mm-hmm.
still out there doing crazy stuff, getting smashed every day, um, going out and partying, hoopla, and doing all this crazy stuff. And um, even still, like at that, after she was born, I would still have my days.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it kind of humbled me and it calmed me down. I wasn't always looking to fight somebody anymore or go out and do something I had no business doing. Um, so it was more of a humbling thing uh, because then I would begin to think about um, what how my life was because I didn't have a father.
Mm-hmm.
So then that started to play a role, and so all of these things just kind of start coming together like a puzzle. You know what I mean?
Right. That's good, and I'm glad you went there, man. Because I have a question to ask you off of that. What was your blueprint in being? You say you did not have a quote father. What was your blueprint on how to be a dad?
So I had to make a conscious decision. I could be like my stepdad, who was a straight up crook
Mm-hmm.
and didn't care about anybody but himself. Out there robbing, he even stole from me. And I
Wow.
was the stepson. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Um, so I had to make the decision if I wanted to grow up and be like that or be like my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
grandfather went to work every day, rarely missed any days. Um, 32 years at the same job, made some of himself, had a nice house out in the burbs,
Mm-hmm.
provided me with things when I was there, like a pool, stuff like that. So I had to make a decision. Do I want to be a crook or do I
Mm.
want to have someone or be someone like him? And that's the decision I made.
That's good. That's good. Mr. Hicks, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening? Mr. Hicks, can you hear me?
Hey, Ryan, doing fine. Yeah, do you hear me?
Oh, okay, okay. Yes, I heard you. I heard you. Tell about your real man being men. Yeah, tell about your real man being men going on, man. You can't be on no dog. Yes, we heard you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Woman being bad. Here I am. All right,
But
well,
listen, I'm asking a question, brother.
you.
Can you hear me? I'm Mr. Hicks.
Yes, I hear you.
I'm
Everything's
asking
good
a
there.
question. Yes, sir. Yes. When did you realize? And we're not talking about age. We're not talking
Okay.
about age at all. When did you realize you were a man?
Mm.
You had transitioned from being a little boy to a man. When did you realize you were a man, Mr. Hicks?
Mm. Wow. When uh when I committed my thing back then in the early 60s, it
Mm-hmm.
was like a unique situation, right after work for a lawyer. So it threw the whole system out of
Mm-hmm.
whack. because you usually don't have a lawyer in New Jersey in Newark. You're poor, but I had a lawyer that came down and sort of put everything off balance. And in the incident that I got, in the incident I was arrested for, I didn't get caught with any evidence. They had, and I lied. My word was so strong, my mother, that even when I was a child, when people would come and say something to her that I had did something, she would ask me. I built up this kind of, this is almost what you do when you become a manipulator. That she trusted me. So when she asked me, I said stuff there. Eventually I got caught. She put the house up. But when I got, I went through the good case. They had no evidence. I was saying I didn't do it. I watched the officers come up and go on stand. They all lied. They did. And it came down to me. I had no record. I was military. I was honorably discharged. I was married. I had all these things in my favor. All I had to do was get on the stand and lie. All I had to do was get on the stand and put my hand on the Bible and lie. I remember talking to my lawyer just before I was supposed to go to the stand. He's back there, and I told him, and his name was whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
And I said, Mr. Sir, I said, you know what? I can't go up there and put my hand on the Bible and lie. I said, I did it. He put his hands over the ears. He said, don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me that. I said, no, I can't go. I'm telling you here now. I did this, and I didn't do these things, these other things. He was in an uproar. My mother, everybody was in an uproar. The court, they changed the whole kind of thing. But when I stood up in that court and faced up to what I did and denied the things that I didn't do, I became a man.
Wow. Responsibility. We said something about responsibility earlier. Yeah.
It was hard. Best thing I ever could do, to be honest. It was a situation. It was a process that this change and seeing myself and not liking what I saw. When I saw the people that I injured, and I saw the children, they had family, they had kids, and I saw the little kids come up there. It's when you start seeing things.
Come on.
I was raised with that thing. I just could not go and put my hand on the Bible and lie. And I know all the talk about the Bible and the historical, whether or not this and that. It's just something I know in my very spirit. There's essence of truth there. And the principle is that there's power in truth. In trying to be the best you can. So I became a man. And it was hard. My wife fainted in the courtroom. You had a young wife. Had a little baby. She fell out. She fainted. And
how did you feel after you revealed that truth, and that weight and that burden came off of you of having to lie? How did you feel after you actually told the truth?
It's like I told the truth. I saw myself doing it, right? After I did it, it's like I wish I could go back and change it again, because I'm saying at the meeting kind of thought like I had this case beat. I had it beat.
Yeah.
I had this case. There was an interesting thing like that. But I'm gonna tell you an interesting thing. I'm talking about this thing that was happening my whole life, right? I was out on bail for this trial, so I wasn't coming there from the court, from the county jail or anything. I was just coming in with a suit and tie, and my family had a whole big circle of support around me. It's just like the things that they said that I had done, it didn't look like this guy couldn't have did that. It was that kind of doubt there.
Yeah.
But I sort of lost my point.
How did you feel after you told that truth? After you and you didn't have to stand on that stand and lie. How did you feel? How did you feel at that moment when the truth came out and you told it?
I'm being honest. I felt like I wish I could pull my words back. I wish I could change my mind. but what happened was
One of
that
them
was
Urkel moments. Did I do that?
yeah, like it was almost like something that, and it's a sense of righteousness that came up inside of me, and I couldn't do anything but tell the truth. And then when I told the truth, it was so new to tell the truth now, because I had been lying for months now. I'm lying to the lawyer, I'm lying to my mom, I'm lying to everybody. I'm creating this facade. And so when I come out and finally tell the truth, it's like, can I pull it back? But right after that, it was like this relief. I was out on bail, and my mom had a house up, had some money up, and I was supposed to be remanded back to the county jail now for to come back and be sentenced.
Mm-hmm.
And but something happened, the whole confusion, this thing, right? I ended up leaving the courtroom with my wife and stuff and going back home. My mom called me from the courthouse. She said, and I heard her, she said, hey, here he is. He's right here. He's here now. And I said, what's wrong, Mom? She said, they thought you had escaped. And she said, you wasn't supposed to leave. You're supposed to wait till we put some more money up. And I said, do you want me to come back? She said, no, they said it's all right now. But I guess what I'm saying like this, from that point on in my life, right? When I decided to try to be a straight shooter and never perfect, but always striving to be that way in my life, there've been those kind of miracle things. The whole experience of how I even got out, how somebody came, the chief of the juvenile service came and pulled me out of prison, what's still doing time to start a program, introduced me to lawyers, to judges, to the probation department, put me out, they gave me opportunity. But it was all while I was striving. How's that? And it was like, even on this line, you probably sense it, this ability to be transparent.
Yeah.
Be transparent about my life and what my life has taught me, my failures. And when you're sharing that with kids, they feel that. They feel, because they're not used to it. They're not used to adults being totally real with them.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm talking too much.
No. You're doing good. You're doing good, and you're being transparent. I definitely appreciate that. Let me go to our Cornelius. Cornelius, good. I was gonna say good morning, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Hey, doing well, Cornelius. We asking a question, man. At what point in your life? We're not talking about age. It has nothing to do with age. When did you realize that you had gone from a boy to being a man?
Good question. When I was able to realize that I must take care, I have responsibilities to take care of, and it all came from maturing as a young man to know that to survive in this world, you must be accountable, and you must be able to keep up with the responsibilities that's been handed to you, and live in this world as a person that's trying to strive to have a decent life. And that's when I realized that, and it all happened after I got saved. When I accepted Christ as my Lord and Savior, I began to read the Bible and realized that I had to have some change and accountability for myself. And that's when I began to mature as a man. And some of the stupid stuff I was doing back then, I began to realize that it wasn't worth it. And that's when I began to realize that this is what being a man is all about. And then that's when, once that happened, that's when God blessed me with my wife. Because having a wife, and you know this, man, you've been married for years.
Yeah.
It takes a lot.
Just call me old, man. Just call me old. Just call me old.
One thing, right? Because one thing about women that's married, a woman wants to know. The main thing that a woman wants to know is that her man is going to have things secure for her, like a roof over her head.
Yeah.
Knowing that things is going to be taken care of. she wants to know that. She once she feels comfortable in that, then she know I got a good man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that I know that's gonna do right by me and by my house and by the household. You know, and that's something that when you recognize that being coming into the level of a man, and that's not saying that we don't do everything perfect, because we don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's all a level of what they call maturity.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what the Bible describes maturity as. I mean, perfection means mature.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the Greek. So you're trying to come up as a mature man and grow as an individual, not perfect,
Mm-hmm.
because none of us are.
Yeah.
We all have sinned and fall short to His glory. So we all have our shortcomings, but at the end of the day, we're striving to mature
Mm-hmm.
as each individual, especially as a man. And that's one thing about our wives, that when God really knows that we need a wife, that's our help meet. Not only to help us meet, they call it described as meeting to help us meet our expectations as men
Yes.
and grow
Mhm.
into who we're supposed to be as men.
Mm-hmm.
And it all takes a level of maturity each and every day. So that's for
Absolutely.
me.
Good deal. Good deal. Cap, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
Hey, Raheem. Good evening to my brothers, man.
Hey, good evening to you as well. We asking a question, Cap, and this has nothing to do with age. It has nothing to do with age. At what point in your life, did you realize that you transitioned from being a boy to being a man?
Well, let me say this. I can't tell you as long as women are able to listen in on this show. It's not that rated X. I'm just want to put that out there. Put a spell on the brother. Say when I tore that first, no, that ain't the case. Listen,
Lord.
I just thought I'd put a smile on my brother's face. I know they thought about it. Don't act like that. Come on, man. Don't act like God thought about it.
Exactly.
He said, oh, no, you the man, baby. You the man. Anyway,
each and every one of them thought about it. That crossed everybody's mind.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to be kind. They were trying to be kind, Raheem. I appreciate that, brother. They know they got the women listening. Let me say this. If a man, he can't be called a pilot until he's able to fly that plane by himself. I have crashed quite a few planes. So therefore, I can't say I've been a great pilot. I can tell you that I realized I was a man 23 years ago. Why 23 years ago, Raheem? That was my fourth marriage. And in this fourth marriage, I learned that the way to be a man is not to be a cheater, a liar. The way to be a man is not to give the illusion that you're taking care of responsibility when you really tear down the responsibility you're supposed to take care of.
Wow.
When I came in my last marriage, I made it up in my mind. I crashed 3 planes. I crashed, so I can't say I was a pilot. I had to be a pilot to go back to school to learn how to fly a plane on my own. And since I have been married with my last wife, I thank Almighty God. He allowed me to see the reason why I crashed those planes.
Wow.
And one of it was I was not a man who was faithful. And now that I could truthfully say and look God in the face,
come on,
and He knows I've never cheated. This is the first of the wife I ever had. I've never cheated. This is the truth.
Yes.
And now I could truthfully say I'm taking care of my responsibility. And guess what? I can say I'm a man, but it ain't like when my wife say,
come on,
you the man.
Come on now.
I'm through. I'm gonna leave it right there, man. I'm landing the plane.
That put a whole different air in your chest when your woman said you the man. Oh Lord Jesus.
Ooh.
Cancel all our plans, baby. We're gonna be in that room for a long time today. I got sidetracked. Excuse me. Carlos, how you doing, Elder? Can you hear you? Can you hear you, sir?
Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Hey, doing good. Good to have you, sir. Asking the question, and again, it has nothing to do with age. It has this question has nothing to do with age at all. When did you realize you had transitioned from being a boy to being a man? Rico, coming to you next, brother.
Well, I think I felt that early on because when I got married, I was in my early 20s and took on the responsibility of moving us, from where we live to somewhere else and kind of charting the course, I guess you could say. Of course, I thought it was me charting the course. It was God charting the course. But we had our first child and when I was 27. And so I think there's something about having that kid, and being responsible for that kid. That's one of the stages, I think, but I think I felt it a little before that because I felt I was responsible for my wife. I wasn't perfect by no means, but I felt that the buck stopped with me. I felt that I had respect from my wife, and after I had my child, because we had lived way far from home, so I was taking care of everything. I think that's one of the things for me that made me feel like a man, the fulfilling the responsibilities, doing what I'm supposed to do, providing, so it happened kind of early for me.
Okay. How did it feel knowing that you were, quote unquote, the man? You was taking care of responsibilities, man. You was handling things. Carlos, how did that make you feel?
Well, of course, it felt good. I grew up kind of like an old soul. I was raised by my grandparents, so I think it made me feel good. It did. It made me feel good. Yeah, I can just say that it really made me feel good.
Good deal. Rico. Now I'm gonna call Rico. He gonna shut his doggone screen out.
What's going on, man? I keep hitting the wrong button, man. I'm trying to hit that mute button to hit the camera. There you go.
Rico, and again, man, this has nothing to do with age. There's not a number that we could put on this thing. But when did you realize, Rico, when did you realize that you transitioned from being a boy? Now I'm a man. When did you realize that, Rico?
First time I went to jail.
Wow.
They don't play no more.
Ain't no more games.
Ain't no more games. I couldn't play the little cute high school student role no more. I'm a good student, man. I make all A's and none of that stuff, man. Nah, man, when I was younger, man, I always had a lot of responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? But probably not too much different than a lot of other kids, as far as being the older brother, maybe having to step up and defend your mom at 11 years old, different things that a man would do at a young age, But I think I really found out when I bought a trailer at 19, when my first son's mom was pregnant with my son, and I wanted to she already had him like maybe a week before I bought the trailer, but I wanted to make sure that I put her in the spot. So I bought a trailer, and it felt good, but then that first month when all those bills came in, all of them were on me. That's when I realized then, that when I was staying with my grandmama or whatever, that she was paying all the bills, how good I had it. I realized then that, okay, now you ain't got the freedom to just sit back and play and blow your money like you used to. Now you got you thought you had responsibilities. But those little responsibilities that you had were just to prepare you. But now you got the real responsibilities.
Real life.
And these are responsibilities that 9 times out of 10, we're not supposed to bail you out for. We can't pat you on your back and put you on our shoulders no more. This you. Yeah. You got a baby on the way. You got to put the baby on your shoulder. So I think that's when it really dawned on me when I laid down that night in my own bed and I closed that door up and I said, man, this is mine.
Yeah.
I just bought this. I was at my grandmama's house last night, but I'm in my spot tonight with my baby in there. Look at this bassinet. Baby, let's get it on.
Let's get it. Joseph, good evening, sir. How are you doing this evening?
Doing good, sir. How you doing?
Hey, doing good, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Sure can. Loud and clear. Asking a question, man. And again, I keep saying it just to make sure everybody understands it has nothing to do with a number or age. At what point in your life did you realize you've transitioned from being a boy to now I am a man? I'm a man now. I'm a man. At what point did you realize that?
When my daughter was born, when I turned 17. Yeah, I was a man because I realized that in that moment that I had to find new ways to bring in income to support my family. So I accepted that day when my child was born that all the giggling and laughing and playing that I was doing prior, living fancy free, not having care in the world, all came to an end. And I began to focus on how I was going to make sure my child had a better start in life than I had. So that's when I became a man.
Wow. Anybody else have anything they want to say to this topic before we move to the next one? Okay, good deal. Rico, we're gonna start the next topic off with you. We talked about responsibilities. We talked about responsibility and being a man. But this question kind of leans into that just a little bit, kind of sort of. But do men and women view money the same? Do we look at money as the same? For us, it could be just a way of paying the bills or whatever, but do they look at it a little differently? Do men and women, and I don't want to guide your answer, but do men and women view money the same?
I think they view it the same. And I hate to just put this on a man or woman thing because it could happen on either side, but some choose to blow it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, they might view it the same, but some choose to splurge and some choose to save. It's still the same value. They know that they need it for survival. You know what I'm saying? They know that they need it, you know what I'm saying, to buy the things that they need or want. But the difference is that some people would rather live like they only have one life to live. They say you only live once. So they'll live like you only live once. You know what I'm saying? They say you can't take it with you. And then they don't leave the children anything or leave them prepared. But then you have some that realize, okay, even though I can't take it with me, I got to make sure that I got enough to last me in case I make it to 112. You know what I'm saying? I need to make sure that I got something put up to make sure that I can, provide for myself or pay for assistance, quality assistance. It might cost a little bit extra, So, I think people view it the same. But it's the addiction, the addiction to whatever consumer goods or things that they find pleasure in that's really separating the value system. That's what the difference is, the value system. But I think everybody loves money for the same reason. I mean, because without it, if you didn't need it to buy everything, then what would be the use of collecting it?
It's good. That's good. Let's go to Leonard. Captain Leonard, what do you say to that, man? Do men and women view money the same?
I think that women are more trustworthy a lot of times in a relationship. I've noticed that the majority of men trust their woman. Like, say for instance, my grandmother make sure things were paid, and I can remember to this day my godmother, my mother, and them, that was their business of making sure bills got paid, and the man would go work, and the woman would make sure all the administrative stuff was taken care of, like folks got paid and all that type of stuff, budget and things of that nature. Whereas, like my friend makes quite a bit of money. But as long as he got his allowance, he know that his wife gonna make sure that there's money there for a rainy day. everything's gonna be budget properly, you name it. Me, I predominantly take care of all those things because my wife's completely different when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
She'd rather not,
Mm-hmm.
So that's very different. But I think, like Rico said, you don't want to place one or the other. It's just that the experience. I'm the type of person where it's more stressful for me not having money, whereas my
Mm-hmm.
wife think everything will be okay because
Yeah.
it's never dependent on her.
Mm-hmm.
But I bear that burden in the relationship. So it's different from our relationship because we're more traditional, where I'm pretty much head of household and I have to be responsible for those things, and I always have been.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. That's
it's
good.
very different. I would love for her. I'm trying to get her to the point now where, hey, you need to take care of some of this. Here, you do it. This is how I do it. Some women think it would be great and things like that, but I think, like my wife would say, well, what is the mortgage? She don't even know what the bills would be. What if
Mm-hmm.
something
Mm-hmm.
happened to me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So she needs to learn now how to take care of those things.
Mm-hmm. Just in case.
Just in case, yes.
Just in case. Absolutely. Mr. Hicks, do men and women view money the same? Do we look at money in the same way?
Oh, wow. No, I was thinking too, these meetings, this is real therapeutic stuff. Because in between the conversation, I have your mind just wandering and thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of like Captain, I was married 3 times, right? And 2 of them was, I don't know, but the longest marriage was 30 years, right? And know how they say that thing, you don't miss your water to the well run dry kind of thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
she was all I did was work. She stayed home, raising the kids. I worked on the road. I traveled. I worked a lot of odd hours, and I just made the money, gave it to her. She managed it.
Mm-hmm.
She looked for the best deals on things. She wasn't caught up in labels, and she wasn't pretending. She was real practical, real earthy. She kept me in balance because I was spending. I couldn't. Even now, man, I have the hardest time managing money. I'm working on my mindset now. But then this last marriage, when I married at the beginning of COVID, right? I guess I don't know. COVID was rough anyway, but it was high class. She's a high class, sort of thought more highly of herself than she ought.
Wow.
She like all the name brand stuff.
Wow.
The postman was always bringing in stuff. He was always bringing in stuff, right? The big, and I was always bailing her out. We had separate accounts, right? But she always wanted to manage my money too, right? But I would handle all the bills and handle all obligations. But no, you can't handle. I watch how you handle yours, and every month you got in the rears on checks and stuff. But anyway, so the contrast was, do they see it the same? No, I guess it's all an individual thing, because and it was almost, how's that? Don't miss your water to the well run dry. It made me think about Ryan and Z's marriage, right? I look at that and I see reflection of when me and her were real young. We had the babies around, the kids were being born. I was handling my part, she was handling. We was working things out. We had our arguments, but we always worked it out. And we was growing together, and we were changing together. And I guess what happened and it happens in relationships when they go through the menopause, change of life. The kids get grown. The kids are going to college and getting married and starting that. And then there's a void. I say it like this, man. So I caught up here, but appreciate what you got. I mean, that's almost the key to any kind of success I've learned. You get caught up in wanting to material. This my last wife. She wanted material things. She wanted this,
Mhm.
wanted that, and I understood it because that's good. You're supposed to want things, but
Mistakes. Do you think sometimes those desires put too much pressure on a man?
well, if you let it, I bailed.
Yeah.
I bailed out.
Yeah.
I left. I mean, I packed my truck up and I moved to Anniston. I left my books. I got books there. I got paintings there. I got a guitar. I got all my stuff still there.
Mm-hmm.
She went on a trip with her family. I packed my truck up and I left because I learned this. I should have saw it earlier. But you got to be free. You got to be free to be who you are. You got to allow people to be who they are.
Yeah, yeah.
But that equally yoked thing on about the money and the finance and the economic, you got to be clear on those things going in. I mean, if you expect me to let you have all, I mean, what I worked for all this year, all this stuff, and you want to manage my money. Every time I turn around, the postman bringing a box or something. She be on those you know, those stations that have advertising stuff.
Yeah, QVC.
But she
QVC and stuff like, yeah.
But I'm not seeing her. She's doing it in secret. Packages is coming to the house.
Wow. We did something at the house over the weekend, man. It had our family was over and everything, and we was playing music and karaoke and all kind of stuff. We had a real good time, man. Had a real good time, and a song came across, and it just made me think about it. You just made me think. You just made me think about somebody. Everybody mute your line. I got some background conversation. Leonard, I can hear you, brother. No. I'm sorry. That was Rico. I'm sorry. That was Rico. And a song came up. They did a karaoke on it, man. I never heard this song before in my life, man. Y'all might have heard it before, but the guy was saying, "Do all you could mess with all this stuff, but don't touch my truck." Y'all heard that song? Don't touch my truck. Don't touch my truck.
Sound like some country. I don't listen to country.
It is. It's a black guy, but he's country, and he's saying country. He said, don't. You can do all this stuff, but don't touch.
Why you got to preface it with he's black? Country music started with black folk.
Yeah, I know. I know it did. You're absolutely right. But my thing is, man, you don't see a lot of it today, though, man. You don't see it, but that's true, though. That's true. Let me keep this thing going. As a matter of fact, Ryan, I'm coming to you, man. Do men and women view money the same?
I think in a general sense they do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows money is money, right? You need it to live, although you don't want it to live.
Do you?
And
do you?
Yeah, you do. You got, if you want a roof over your head, you need it. You gotta pay bills, man. Unless you kind of be like me and be out in the sticks in the end when nobody bothering you, you need some money.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Exactly. Give me a big old tent. I give me a 3-bedroom tent.
You still gotta buy that tent. You gotta build your own house. Out the sticks. But yeah, no, I mean, I think in a general sense, they do, but like, so
do we give money too much power, Ryan?
Oh, absolutely. Okay.
Okay.
You know, my relationship, for example, I grew up with nothing. My wife grew up with nothing. So now that we have a little something, she hasn't changed, and neither have I. She don't care if we in a cardboard box or not. We good.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I think it's a different scenario for other people. So if you grew up having something, or your family was doing a little better, and then you come into and you meet this great guy, but he ain't got nothing, and all of a sudden your mind started playing tricks. You know, oh, well, he don't really have nothing. I'm not used to this type of lifestyle. I can't do this. He's the greatest man ever, but he ain't got no money. So, and that could work both ways, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's not, in my opinion, a man or a woman issue, because I see men spend money on ridiculousness just as much as I see women.
And how often is it that a man, not trying to stereotype or nothing like this, but how often is it that a man will spend money on electronics or their vehicles? Blow money. We'll blow a lot of money. You know, everybody have their own lane if they do things, but men spend a lot of money on electronics, man. We love our electronics. And our car, when our car to look good. So we'll put a lot of. I got friends right now, man, that'll get an old car, an old school car, and before you know it, man, they don't put $10,000-$12,000 in that car, building it up, man, building it up, because they want that car to look a certain way. I see them all the time. I said, man, you put a lot of money in that car. Oh man, that's my habit, man. That's my drug. Is what that's his word, man. That's my that car, man. That's my drug. Cap, do men and women view money the same?
I really like what Ryan said. You know, I mean, it all depends. I mean, I happen to have a young wife.
Mm-hmm.
She sees money a little bit different than me. You know, she sees money's nails, hair done, pedicure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, she spent a lot of money on things like that. Where my focus on money is to be able to provide and maintain an household. I'm a little different. Most of the brothers I like on here, but I like this. I pay the bills. Man, my wife probably don't even go to the mailbox because there ain't a bill in her name.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the things that she admires about me is I handle mine. Now, in return, what do I get from being the breadwinner and the boss? Man, I don't come home smelling no Clorox or pine salt. I smell that bean soup. I mean, I don't get no excuses when it comes making sure my dresser drawer is full of all of my clean clothes. I ain't got to question that.
Mm-hmm.
I handle my business. You handle your business.
Yeah.
And other people need to stay out of my business when it comes to my business.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, you worship that, and I don't want you to stay out of my business. That's why most of these women single.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the bottom line, no, my wife have a different attitude about money
Mm-hmm.
because I give her this security that, you know, hey, I like you looking good, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want you walking around here with no daggone bonnet on your head, bedroom slippers,
Exactly.
looking like somebody grandma.
Dragging your feet.
Man, please. Dragging your listen. Oh, girl, I like them nails.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, girl, get your, oh.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna be scratching my leg up with them bad toenails. So listen, I pay the cost to be the boss, but man, up to her. She likes to shop.
Yeah.
She don't see money the same way. And when you come, and I like what brother said, you know, right? I mean, listen, they're being to blow a lot of money. I don't think no woman go in no strip club and blow the kind of money them brothers blow in that strip club. I'm sure. If many of these brothers' wives and know the kind of money they blow in that strip club, I think things will be a little bit different at home. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think no brother gonna, you know, baby, you know what I did with that stripper? Man, I just dropped over $1,000. I don't think a man gonna, and what about gambling, the casino?
Yeah. Exactly.
You don't see,
Hold on, Cap. Hold on, Cap. Hold on now, Cap. You try to stay Steve Harvey place or something now? You telling a little bit too much now.
I just stepped on some toes. You know what? That's what's on my heart right here.
He said, let me stop right there. But I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. I was in the bank the other day, man. One day last week, and you know, getting some money for the event we did Friday. And a young lady came. She was in the line in front of me, man. Young girl. She had a backpack on her back. And I'm like, man, you know, that's kind of weird. She got a backpack in the bank. And she went up to the window and she opened up that backpack. And man, she started pulling stacks of $1 bills out, putting them on the counter. Stacks. She had at least about 8 stacks. And when I'm talking stacks with rubber bands around them, man. $1 bills. What kind of job you think she got? Anyway, let's keep
that backpack was sitting on something though, wasn't it? Better hurry up and get out of there before you left her with a couple dollars.
Don Carlos, elder. Let me look here.
Hey, below the belt now, baby. Y'all here below the belt.
Yeah, man. Look at that boy. They swinging hard too, brother. They swinging hard. Do men?
Hey, right here, gonna tell that right on there, we ain't do no show tonight.
Exactly. Go do the show, baby. No, I'm good. Elder, do men and women view money the same? Cornelius, coming to you next, brother.
Well, I like what somebody said earlier. You know, it's I think you can make a general statement that women they can be irresponsible with money if they depend on you, if they trust that the husband's going to take care of them. But
somebody about to get in trouble.
But you know, I think I like somebody said earlier, it kind of depends on your upbringing. It depends on what you saw coming up. It depends on your experience. What if you had other, you know, relationships and marriages, and what worked and what didn't work, you know. And I think also there are stages in your marriage. Let's say if we're talking about a married husband and wife, there are stages in marriage when the guy may be more irresponsible than the lady is, and so he may have to just go and eat some humble pie and say, okay, you handle, you know, the bills, you know, for a while, writing the checks and all that kind of stuff for a while. So I don't think there's any hard, fast thing about it. But I think when you ask that question, the first thing coming to my mind is that, yeah, well, you know, it seems like the woman will be a little more daring on certain situations. So, you know, there are things that we don't have to have. She wants to get new this and new that. When a guy, we could just settle with the, you know, whatever we had at first. You know what I'm saying? You know, let it go for a while. So she comes to enhance. So she's freer, I think, with money to enhance and to make a home and all those kind of things. And, you know, make everybody look good, make it look like it is a family. More than the guy is. He may have his, some guys have those little toys and things, and some of us just we're in survival mode. I know when I was coming up with my family, I was survival. I had 5 children, so I'm trying to take care of my kids. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't have no toys.
Exactly. But, let me ask you this question right here. Let me ask you this question. This is a little different from the topic we're talking about right now, but I'm going to ask you this question. Why is it that we could have our bachelor pads and they look a certain way, but as soon as we move a woman in, she put them women touches on it, man, and the place looks so much better, man? What is that all about, man?
You asking me?
Yes, sir.
Well, you know, a woman's just got it, man. They got that style, and they make things look better. I mean, we just most guys are just functional. The only reason that a guy will clean up his house and everything like is because maybe a woman coming over. Okay, not all guys, you know, because there's no hard fast for just all guys are the same, all women the same. But I don't think we don't have that touch. I mean, you watch a woman fold some clothes. You know, even if I want to try to fold my clothes right, they just come in, flip, flap, flop, boom, and it's like, how do you know? Okay. They got the touch.
Now, how do they do that thing? Flip? What is that thing? How do they do
it? Flip, flap, flop, boom.
Okay, I was just wondering how you said that. Cornelius, do men and women view money the same? Do we view money differently?
As I've been listening to everybody, I've been like toiling over a few things in my head. I'm gonna go along the same side as this in saying that it all depends on the culture, or the people, how they've been brought up. Because what I've learned over the years, and I know y'all probably have heard this before, women, and it goes back to your first square, women mature faster than men. Because if you notice, I've seen women get out here and get it before a man get it. They know how to go out here and get that car before we get it. They know how to go out there and get that house before we get it. They know how to do a lot of things before we get it. I've seen grown men stay at home with mama, and the daughter done moved out on her own and getting her own place. So in saying that, women know how to manage money better than we do. Women, we are more wasteful than women are. And in saying that, because why? I'm just going by what I've seen over the years, because, and the people I've been affiliated with through these last 40-something years, I've been growing up as a young man and into my 50s.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that we're in our society, we, especially in the Black community, when you're coming up and you don't have nothing, especially as men, when you finally start making a little something, you want to go out there and get it. You like to dress nice, especially being from Detroit. That's all we do. We've dressed. You know, go out there, get suits, wear our hats and our dress shoes, our gaiters, and all that stuff. We want to get G'd up, do all these different things, and waste that money, ain't thinking about nothing. Where that woman is out there trying to bring some stuff in. These single women, they're out there trying to bring stuff in their household and take care of the kids and nurture the kids while we out there doing what God knows what. Like they was talking about the strip club earlier. I was one of those cats.
Uh-oh.
Then when I started making a little money, I was in the strip club.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the women hustling me for my little money. But I was one of them type of cats that where you're gonna have to talk to me before you can get my money. You got to earn this, you know, and one of those things. But it was just, but in saying all that, man, I really truly believe women value money. I might be changing the question a little bit, but I believe that women are value money more than we do. And when you're growing up, you're trying to find yourself as a man.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to find yourself and find out what you're going to. Now, some men will mature and recognize because they've been brought up under a great home, or seeing their father doing what he needs to do and provide and different things like that. Because my wife was trained by her father.
Mm-hmm.
He told her how to manage money. So when I get into this marriage, my wife already knew what she needed to do and how she needed to do. So hey man, I've worked, bust my tail every week. When I come home, I give my wife the money.
Yeah.
Go take care of the bills.
Mm-hmm.
Pay the rent.
Mm-hmm.
You got it. And everything, I make sure everything for my cable bill, my rent, everything is taken care of. I give her the money to handle that. So, and she go take care of that, and we live a peaceful life. You know, but that's basically what it boils down to. But sorry for changing the question a little bit, but that's basically what I think.
Yeah,
I think women are more. I think we are more wasteful than women do.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And see, I can agree, and I can also kind of lean the other way because everybody have their own alley. Everybody have their own quote unquote likes. And people spend money on different things. We could like I said, go to the strip club or like I was saying about my friends, the cars. That's their drug. That's their drug of choice. Making up them cars. They spend a lot of money in that. But women have other areas, like Mr. Hicks was saying. You know, women love to order stuff off Amazon and places like that, man. You know, you'll have a box coming to your house every week. And I hope my wife listening, she might hit me in the head when I come up the steps. But but I'm gonna tell you something, man. A stuff thing will come to the house every week because they love ordering things, man. That Amazon man, you know, he come up here. He look here. He called me by my name, man. He called me out so much, man. Hey, Raheem, how you doing, man? Shut up, man.
Hey,
hey, Raheem, my wife do the same thing. I work the night shift. Next thing I know, somebody knocking on my door. It's the Amazon man dropping the package at the door. Yeah, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. That joker called me by my name. Hey, Raheem, how you doing today, man? You gotta shut up away from my house, man. Come out here next week. And I said, don't you come out here next week? He said, I'll be back tomorrow. God almighty.
Curtis ain't lying neither. I go to the closet right now and get the gators.
Exactly.
That's what we do around here.
Exactly. Y'all, it's a different way, different thing up there, man. But let me go to Joseph. Joseph, what do you say to that, brother? Do men and women view money the same?
Wow. There's some women who are very good at managing money, especially the old school sisters. You know, I remember watching the older gents when I was a little kid. They bring the money home, man, give it to the wife. Wife make sure all the bills paid. Always kept a hot dinner on the table when the husband got in, and made sure the kids, you know, had school clothes and so on and so forth. And then I know some women, man, they like the Gucci bags and the what you call leotards or and all these high price things. And if you're not about that, then you're not about nothing. And I don't see personally the need to spend my money on all these high end things when we don't own the factories. So I think I probably ruffle some feathers among some of the girls that I dated, coming along. And I probably ruffle feathers when I talk about my beliefs about money to them to this day, other people, other women, because I think some of our habits are counterproductive in terms of how we use money. Now, invest it, and then if you have a lot of money, go out and buy all that, all that top name brand stuff. I bought a Jaguar, man, and that thing cost so much to keep repaired.
Yep.
I got rid of that joker. Quick, fast, and hurry.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice driving down the street, seeing your friends saying, yeah, he done made it.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, those repair bills were killing me.
Yeah. They hit hard now.
So yeah, you have to really think about money. Money is a tricky thing, man. It's a tricky thing. Now, you got some women good at it, and you got some women not good at it. And you got some of us men not good at it, maintaining it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else they want to say on this topic before we move on to the next one?
Now, what was the first question on this?
We asked, do men and women view money the same? Do men and women view money the same?
Oh, okay. All right, because I was about to go in a different direction there because I was,
Okay, good deal.
That's cool.
Let's go to our next topic. And are you all familiar with what they call gentle parenting? Everybody familiar with gentle parenting?
Yeah, that's why kids messed up.
We're gonna talk about that, and our next topic is this right here. Leonard, coming to you first. Do you believe, Leonard, in gentle parenting?
Yes, that's my main approach to parenting.
You're a little bit low, Leonard. You're a little bit low.
It's like I explain it to my sons, for instance. I'm here to facilitate your best decisions. And I do it from a point of being respectful, understanding, have a lot of empathy to what you're going through, but I'm consistent with the boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
There is no fluff in between. There's really, I allow my children the ability to explain. I want to know why you're doing certain things, as opposed to just, I'm very strict when it comes to a lot of things. But like, say, for instance, to watch my younger son, he's in school still. So C's just aren't good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, no, you can't do this and you cannot do that until you earn that.
Mm-hmm.
And those are, and I'm very consistent about it. But I believe in, respecting my children in a certain way as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the things that I regret, I think I'm just as raw with them as I am with you all. And I don't, I think I wish I would have never started cursing them, because I naturally I like to curse a lot. And that's probably one of the worst things that I do. But I establish a certain amount of respect with my children because I'm so consistent about things.
Okay. Give us in a nutshell, explain gentle parenting, because I'm gonna go around. I want everybody to tell their take on it and whether they agree with it or disagree, and why. What is gentle parenting, Leonard?
It's more evidence-based approach.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, if you're looking for a desired outcome, my goal is to change behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't get mad and just go off on just because.
Mm-hmm. Does it include, or can it include, spankings?
Well, I'm not violent. I don't believe in the violence part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe spanking has its time, and it's usually prior to a child being able to understand and language. And then again, it's not very forceful. It's just a deterrent.
Mm-hmm.
But usually, once the child learns words and can talk and express themselves, I'm not big on the whole spanking approach at all. And I believe you can do it without spanking. It
Wow.
depends on the particular child. But
Okay.
I think if you're a type of person that just spanks just because you were spanked, that has nothing to do with gentle parenting.
Okay.
Gentle
Okay.
parenting it actually looks at things that have made better outcomes. I've heard people say, "Oh, I'm so glad my mother beat me." Why? Why would you
Mm.
attribute that to who you are today? There's something a little strange about that to me.
Do you think, and I don't know if I want to use the word equal, but do you think that our gentle parenting includes is an inclusive type situation where you look at them as a parallel to you and you treat them accordingly?
Yes, gentle parenting it prepares them for the rest of their lives.
Mm.
Most
Okay.
people's approach only lasts maybe 2 or 3 years
Okay.
till that child becomes self-independent, and then that's when you have all these problems with them. It's
Okay.
because spanking does not work, but only for a shorter point of time. Your
Okay.
child can become just as mean as you. There's some dogs you can whip and you want to have to put them down
Okay.
because they won't obey.
And I, that's fine. But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I got my butt to all the pieces, boy. I got my butt whipped. Let me go to Ryan. Ryan, what do you think about gentle? Do you agree with gentle parenting?
I don't
Do you
really
believe it?
know. Like Leonard was saying, like, it's a time and place for a spanking, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not my go-to. It
Mm-hmm.
used to be when they was little, but that was more like I agree with Leonard again. Like it was more of a catch that attention. You know, it's that, oh wow, that got me smacked. I probably shouldn't put my finger in that light socket anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And as the kids have gotten older and become their own people, there's still certain times where you know they just going way out of pocket, and I kind of use my language, uh, and probably not words I should use all the time, but to wrangle them back in. Like you got about 5 seconds to correct that behavior. I'm gonna correct it for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And I definitely try not to be that parent that uses a hands-on approach to correct behavior because I know how it was for me.
Do you
Like,
think when it crossed the bridge of a teenager, do you think you should veer back just a little bit more on the spankings and use more of a verbal, or is
yeah, I do that before.
mm-hmm,
I've got a 19-year-old. She's at the house now,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and so my next one is my 13-year-old. My 13-year-old is infinitely more responsible than my 19-year-old
mm-hmm,
ever could have been. They both get straight A's in school. They both honor roll students, but for some reason, my 13-year-old has common sense. My
mm,
19-year-old, I couldn't even beat it into her. She ain't got
wow,
no common sense. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Like, and I would try to explain things and take Leonard's approach of talking it out and hearing the emotional side of things and hearing their feelings on things. But and I hate to say it, but when it comes to like Badger just said on Twitch, my 19-year-old super book smart. She works at a hospital straight out of high school. You know what I mean? So she's got education, but when it comes to common sense and people skills and reading the room, she dumb as a box of rocks.
wow,
No
wow,
matter how hard I tried to explain things to her without even being an angry person,
mm-hmm,
it was just like right over her head. But
wow,
my 13-year-old, she can go out, meet all these kids, and she can literally it take her a day or two and she start picking them out. Just you garbage, you garbage, you
mm-hmm,
garbage, you're
yeah,
not worth my time. Like she
mm-hmm,
knows how to do all of that stuff already. So I
mm-hmm,
don't really have to be so concerned with her.
wow,
So it's I think it's a case by case basis with each child. how much you have to be, but or aggressive. Like for me, I was super laid back, but it was my stepdad using me as a punching bag, and then my mother adopting his behaviors when she never used to be that way, that turned me into that street punk that I ended up being for a while. It pushed me out the door because it gave me resentment and anger towards parental figures. But I never felt that way towards my grandparents because they never did me like that. I think my whole life, my grandfather maybe got me twice. The first time was with a newspaper because I dropped the JC while we was waiting in line at Burger King and it was taking forever. And he turned around with his newspaper and just he said, "Don't never say that again."
Exactly.
But then the other time it was, "Come on up here to the bedroom for a second," and he shut the door. And I was like, all right, this is different. You know, like what's been happening right here? Because I knew what it was to get beat. But from him shutting that door and pointing at the back of his door, he had a belt rack on the back of his door. And had all kinds of different belts over there. And he said, "I've never had to do this to you. But at this point in time, you finna get it."
Yeah. Wow.
But it never happened again after that. So I don't know. I think it's a case by case scenario.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to Cap. What do you say? Do you believe in gentle parenting?
Man, you asking a military DI, can he be gentle in his parenting? Man, I've been a captain. I've been in the military training bed most of my life. And it's kind of hard, to make the adjustment to be that gentle parent. Because my wife constantly telling me, I ain't one of your soldiers.
Yeah.
So, I have to learn. I'm learning. I'm 69 years old. I'm a little more mellow now. I wasn't a gentle parent to my children, but I'm learning to be that with my grandchildren.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
But I do believe that this generation, old school way is not always the best way. All right. And of course, I come from the old school. I didn't like getting my tail whooped, but there was times that I did some things that belt and that switch changed my attitude.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
And I think that today, many people would say, yeah, man, wasn't nothing wrong back then. Look what it did with me now. If it made you a better person. But there was a lot of abuse. I don't think you had to beat somebody with an ironing cord. I ain't never got beat with an ironing cord. But you heard those stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some said a razor strap. I didn't get beat with no razor strap, but you heard those stories. But the bottom line is gentle parenting. I think, when I listen to Ryan, he's got a 13-year-old, it's a girl, man. He came up hard as nails, I'm sure. He can't put on his daughter what his pops put on him. And I think this generation, they want reason. They want to have a conversation. They don't want all the time you raise your hand. Talk to me first. Make sense of why you raised your hand on me. And show me where I was wrong. And if I'm wrong, give me a chance to say I'm sorry before you raise your hand. I think they want that kind of conversation today. And of course, like I said, being an old commander, man, I'm hard as nails.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just feel, and I didn't know how to do the transition. I didn't know how to do the transition from talking to men, getting them prepared for war, getting them ready to go into battle, to now I got to learn how to say to my son, my young grandson, X, Y, and Z. So, but I do believe that like Leonard said, we are at a stage where, listen, use your people skills. Gentle parenting, there's nothing wrong with it, man. I'm not saying that every now and then, you don't have to take them to a certain place, because there's some of them, they ain't happy till you take them there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just the way it is. But that's again, every situation requires a different method.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what works for me may not work for my man. What works for my man may not work for them.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to find what best works for you to get your point across without having to use that razor strap, that iron cord, or that switch, or your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can get your point across by just saying, you know what, young lady or young man, you know what? Give me that phone, because since I'm paying for it, hand the phone over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm gonna take all this, give me your laptop. And that could be just as effective. They really, if you ask them, do you want me to give you a whooping, or do you want me to take the laptop? How you want me to take my pants down or leave my pants up? They would rather take the whooping
Yeah.
than for you to take that laptop.
Exactly.
So we dealing with a different generation. But I think gentle parenting is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that, there's certain circumstance, and I think it's more of the younger ones than the older ones. I think the little babies, the 2-3-year-old, he get ready to touch something. You need his hands back. Man, don't touch that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm gonna say? I'm gonna try to reason with a 3-year-old. Don't touch that. See, if you touch that, you're gonna get a second-degree burn, and then they're looking at you. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand that little switch on my little leg.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got my attention.
Yeah.
I think we have to fit the story to the occasion, but I do think gentle parenting today is more required because some people have took that physical thing to abuse. I think there's some people that's not even fit to raise cats or dogs, to be left alone to be up there.
Wow.
And when I listen to some of the people on Morning Glow, there's a lot of people on Morning Glow that has been abused by their own family members, fathers, mothers, grandparents, stepfathers. So I think that gentle parenting is the way, and only under different circumstances that I think maybe you have to go to another, not an extreme measure, but to take it to the next level.
Exactly. And being a little transparent with it, what's going on. I have 4 daughters. Man. And each one of them have their own unique personalities. And so there could not be a cookie cutter approach to discipline my 4 girls. There cannot be a cookie cutter approach because what worked with one may not work for the other. It's just, you have to deal with them, deal with them accordingly. You definitely have to deal with them accordingly, based on their personalities. Let me go to Rico. Rico, do you believe in gentle parenting?
When it's appropriate. I mean, I'm like you on that. I believe in custom parenting. Because you have some children, man, that might have a little bit more energy than the others, or for some reason they just lack sensitivity. And so, you might not be able to be as gentle with them, because if you're gentle with them, they're mean with you, even though you're the parent. You still might be a little bossy, might be a little aggressive. So if you're a little too gentle to them, then next thing you know, you'll be in the store talking about some, stop it, get out the floor now. I'm disappointed in you. I can't believe you put your hands on your teacher like that. Stop it now. Come on, please. No, I believe in some customized parenting and appropriate discipline. Because you can't even do this discipline the same across the board. But it really goes down to each child is individual, like you said with your daughters. Each one of them are individual. So you just won't be able to be as gentle with one as the other, because one may be more sensitive than the other one. One might cry at the drop of a dime. I mean, she could drop a piece of candy on the ground and cry like somebody just stuck her with a bumblebee or something. You get what I'm saying? Fall out crying. But ain't nothing happened to her. She just got told no. But then you got another one that can sit down and fall and scrape herself off and get up and dust it off and look at you like, I scratched myself. You don't have to be as gentle with her. You know what I'm saying? She's going to be a little tougher, boy or girl. So, I mean, that I wouldn't be able to just say, I believe in gentle parenting, but I believe in it being gentle when it's necessary.
That's good. Mr. Hicks, do you believe in gentle parenting, sir?
Oh, I guess it's a blend. I was thinking as we were talking, I got the ironing cords.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I got the ironing cord.
Mm-hmm.
And had to work through a lot of that. But you know, I look back and think about, like I said, I was born in 1949. I grew up in Newark and came back and forth to Alabama when all that, you know, all the stuff, the 50s and 60s was going on. And
man, that's a huge culture shock there, them two places, brother. But go ahead.
yeah, it was sort of good though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was. And if my mother, she knew something about me. She's my mother, and I didn't come to this understanding till she's in her 80s, and we were talking, and I was really getting to know her. You know, children. I experienced my children judge the parents, and it always comes around. No matter, I think on all of us at some level, it comes down to being some things you know come judge you, right? and I don't go for that. You know, I won't play that. I ain't weak like that. You know, I do the best I can, but get out of my face. But anyway, my mother saw something inside of me in the environment that I was growing in with my temper. I was born with it. She said I was born with this. I was always that way. I was mischievous. I was bad. Matter of fact, in that holiness kind of thing, I was demon possessed. But I think that she saw something in me, and if I didn't learn how to control myself, I was gonna have a rough. And I did. Even with the effort, I did it rough. My father only whipped me one time with his belt. He had a belt EH. His name was Esther Hicks, and my name is Ed Hicks. He had the EH under. I remember I have to go back now when he pulled that belt off, and tears was coming down his eyes when he was taking his belt off.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Ed, and it was about responsibility. My younger brother was always wandered off, but I was the oldest. That was my responsibility. Everybody in the neighborhood looking for this kid, right? Everybody in the tizzy. And when we finally get him and everything, it's like, that's your responsibility. You're the oldest. He's saying you're the oldest, Ed.
Mm-hmm.
You have to look out for this family. I work hard. I'm not here. And he was tears coming out, and he hit me with the belt. But his one whooping had more impact on me than all the ones I had my mother.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how everything works out, I say everything works out for the good.
Mm-hmm.
It got me to the point where I was able to take a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just I was able to take a beating.
Mm-hmm.
Got to be able to take a beating in this world. But
wow.
But yeah, so while I was raising my kids, it's while I was working as a therapist with the Department of Juvenile Service, and I was going to college at Glassboro State College. So I was taking these courses, ASL, Summerhill, Carl Jung, and exploring all these kind of things. So with my children, I knew this here, that between the ages of like 1 to 6, 1 to 4, the only thing they understand is and it's not the pain. It's not indicating pain, just indicating that you displeased with what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pull them up and spank them on that pamper.
Spank
that pamper stuff and make them sit. You know, you can do that at that age, and they're gonna still love you.
Mm-hmm.
But after a child get a certain age, 9, 10, 11, 12, like that, and you whip them, and you hit them, it ain't so good. It ain't a good thing at all. You make them go out in the world fight.
Yeah.
They fight their siblings, they fight their cousin, they fighting, they hitting.
Mm-hmm.
That's so a lot of my punishment was stuff like read a book. My kids are talking now. I make them read a book or get a bucket of water and have them all. I remember when they was all little, man. It's so funny. I got pictures of it. They're all little with sponges and buckets washing the walls.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Rolling walls. I don't beat them for that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna see this what it takes now. You gotta clean it. And I mean, I would make them do military. Yeah. I mean, you gotta have, I guess I'm a blend of the two. And I could have been better. Mm-hmm. I could have listened more. I could have really spent more time listening to them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Really listening to them.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Cornelius, what do you say to that, brother? Do you believe in gentle parenting?
Before I preface my comments, Raheem, I gotta ready to get back to the grind in a few minutes, okay?
Yes, sir.
So after I finish speaking, I'm gonna go ahead and gotta get back to work.
Okay.
For my supervisor to come looking for me. Let me say this, man, because I've been listening, and I'm gonna go natural as well as spiritual. And just give me a minute, bear with me.
Okay.
I try not to take too long because I want to give everybody their time, but just bear with me what I'm about to say. And I may ruffle a few feathers what I'm about to say, but I got to speak the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And also, let me say this as well, that I believe, to answer your question blunt, I believe in the gentle parenting, but I also believe in discipline. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Why is this? Because when you see over the years coming up, especially in our Black communities, one of the biggest things that I've noticed, and I believe this came from a slave mentality. Like, I was going to bring this up on the Morning Glow one day. I remember I told you I was going to call in, but on the Morning Glow, man, y'all be up early, I'll be asleep. That'd be my bedtime.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's why it's hard for me to get on there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to get on there, and I was going to bring up profanity. I got a major problem with parents cussing out their children.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that, because I had to get on somebody here at work the other day about that. Young man was telling, and he stopped me dead in my tracks, because normally I don't say anything, but he told me his little baby was crying. He said, "You need to shut that crying shit." I said, "Man, you cuss at your kid?"
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Yeah, man." And then I was like, "Man, you shouldn't be doing that." Why? Because you got to recognize, man, when you look up the word profanity, just look it up. Look at the synonyms behind it in our Webster Dictionary, not the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
but the Webster Dictionary, and look at the synonyms, all the definitions behind profanity. One of them is, and I studied this because God wanted to show me something in it, because I was planning, I was asking questions, because people look at profanity as a language and really don't realize how bad they're even speaking curses and blaspheming over their own children.
Yep.
And
Yep.
don't even see it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the enemy got people so tricked and to see, and then when they wonder why a kid will cuss out an adult, guess what? Don't whoop the kid because of what they're doing. You need to look at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I got a problem with that.
Yeah.
That's not gentle parenting. I'm talking about respect. Because why? Man, I used to cuss with the best of them, dude. I will make up every other word was a cuss word for me. Even right now, when I'm speaking, believe me, back in the day, it would be some cuss words coming out of my mouth, and I'm trying to get my point across.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
now, at the end of the day, I'm looking at this. I see it as this in a gentle parent. When you being disrespectful to your child, not only you disrespecting your child, but you're disrespecting yourself, and you're causing your child to be disrespectful and don't even realize it. And that's when I just, and just like I asked my son one day, man, and talking to him, when we talk about the gentle parenting, I asked him, I said, "Son, why do you get high? Why do you do this? Why do you do that?" And you know what he told me, bro? That's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I see. Because that's the way his mother was speaking around him. And when I whooped him one day, I whooped him one time because he messed up in school, and I whooped his tail, and I asked him, and I'm asking and talking to him, trying to explain to him why I'm doing this. Like, man, you cannot be messing up in school, because why? It's an aftermath. I always think of what they call the cause and effect. A lot of things have a cause and it has an effect to it. Reason why we do some of these things, and the aftermath behind it, what causes people to do some of these things. And that's what basically what it boils down the spiritual side.
Mm-hmm.
God whoops us with life circumstances when he's trying to deter us and correct us into the right path on what he desired for our lives as a parent, a spiritual parenting. We have to get whooped. I've been whooped by God several times trying to get me right. Because why? Our sinful nature, our prideful nature on what we do and why we do some of these things, so God can help us, lead us to be the people that He has called us to be, man. And that's something that when we're trying to deal with our children, we're trying to help them be the best who they can be as they grow into adults. And that's something that we got to be careful with when we're dealing with our kids, man. And I believe in discipline, but I also believe in trying to respect our children to help them understand this is why we're doing this, to try to help you be the best person, God, that you can step in society and gain respect in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just my thing, because my father, I'm going to end it with this. My father, coming up, browbeated me a lot. And I think that was from the way they were raised. He put me down, and bruh, it had a totally opposite effect on me. It was supposed to motivate me, but it tore down my self-esteem. So when you walk into a car, you stupid MF for this, and you blanket that, you supposed to do this and do that. No, you tear down a child's self-esteem. You're not building them up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what profanity does. It tears down. That don't build up.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm very passionate about when it comes down to the children, because we got to be real careful as parents in doing that. Sorry I took so long, but that's why I asked. Just bear with me, because I'm really passionate about this thing here.
Absolutely.
So thank you for my opportunity, man. I got to get back to it.
Hey, love you, brother. Have a good night.
Love you too.
All right, good deal. Toussaint, good evening, sir. How you doing this morning? This evening. I'm talking about this morning. Boy, we back on the morning glow already.
Oh Lord, he confused.
A little bit. Man, I do a lot of shows, brother. Toussaint. How do you feel? Do you agree with gentle parenting?
It's all gentle. I think that I guess what you mean by gentle parenting is giving them a sense of safety, comfort, trust. They can't be scared of you. I want my children to be scared of me. I want them to be terrified. I don't want them to hate to see me come. Now, I done got long past trying to parent anybody.
Mm-hmm.
The mind grown. Thank you, Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah. But at the same time, first of all, I've learned part of gentle parenting is don't you hit that child when you're mad. Don't do anything to them if you're mad with them. Go sit down somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you make sure that your mind is right. A quick reaction is a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
To you and the child. I hate to see a parent that's your child, but you yank their arm. You know what yank means, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ain't that much of a city slicker. But just pull a child.
Yeah.
Don't slap that child. And please don't hit him with your fist.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't got no business at all hitting your child, anybody, any child with your fist.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Never, ever. Don't you punch. That ain't good. But gentle family, sure, I'll agree with that. Talk to them. We're not raising animals. You're not trying to train a horse or a dog. Matter of fact, when the puppy is small, you get a newspaper. I heard somebody say something about a newspaper.
Oh yeah.
And you tap them on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
You don't punch the dog.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, so you got to learn how to talk. Now, here's the deal. The world is mean. The world is not going to be gentle anything.
Mm-hmm.
And we have come to the point. I ain't gonna sit my 9-year-old son on my lap.
Yeah.
Come here, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You looking for you're on the wrong street, buddy.
Lord.
Because he gonna think he cute in a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And part of our gentle parenting has crossed the line
Mm-hmm.
to the point where we're not raising men and women, we're raising something else.
Other.
And we see it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clear. We raising the male, female, and other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be discriminating against anybody. You do what you want to do. It's your thing. Go ahead and knock yourself out. But and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna try to be short too. We make it seem like God is saying something wrong when he says spare the rod, spoil the child.
Mm-hmm.
But we look at all these spoiled children that don't know how to work, they don't know how to talk, they don't know how to spell, they don't know how to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They can't keep a job. They don't have no respect for nobody.
Yeah.
And some of them, excuse my language, and I might as well go sit down after I say this because I might get put out the church. Some of them need the hell knocked out of them.
Hey, going over there. You know your way. You know your way.
If you don't, here's the question. Here's the thing, Raheem. Some of them are beating the hell out of their parents. Now I said it again. I'm in the corner.
You're in the corner.
Thank
Yes, you are. Going over in the corner.
Hey, Raheem, and let me tell you something. Just as smooth as Tucson is right now, that's just how he teaches church.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch him, he's just like that, explaining things
to
his members.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that.
Exactly. Let me go.
I got your bail money. I got your bail money.
Look at he used to
look. That Cap, they done already called. I ain't going to jail. There's the woman when she came. I said, "Come on to the house," because they called on me.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: either I'm gonna raise them or you raise them. You can take them right now.
Mm-hmm.
But when the conversation, I'll have a conversation with anybody, no matter how extreme it is. But come to find out, kids, you mean to tell me you run away from home because I told you to put the trash out and go wash the dishes? You run away from home? Go get him, Mr. Officer, and you hold him till I get there.
Yeah,
that's gentle parenting to me.
Mm-hmm. And what's gonna happen when
that's gentle?
What's gonna happen when they get home? They're gonna be gentle.
Go sit down somewhere. I ain't gonna do nothing to it. Okay. If he hadn't learned by being locked up, he ain't gonna never learn nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think that's cute, he really got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And Raheem, because you asked me,
that's gentle parenting.
I have to give you the textbook because a lot of people use gentle from just speaking casually. But really, if we remember anything, gentle parenting is evidence-based approach, which means you're actually looking at what has worked for people that have studied parenting, who have a desire to raise happy and confident children. Evidence-based means you looked up something or you using something that has been shown in research and study to contribute to that outcome that you want, a happy, confident child.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just being all lax, it's not that. It's not discipline. It's like the absence of discipline. It's not that. It's an evidence-based approach based on the evidence from people who have studied parenting that you're using. These new parenting books and everything that's trying to, got some people, the Bible say this, that. No. Well, you say what you believe, what you want to believe. That is not an evidence-based approach to parenting.
Time out.
Yeah. Things like that. Better ways of disciplining. Hitting is just hitting. You don't know if that works or not. It may stop what's happening right then, but you don't know how it's going to contribute to your child when they grow up.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Joseph, do you believe in gentle parenting, brother? What's on your heart?
Yes, sir. I do, but as everyone else has said, all of our children are not the same, and sometimes you have to modify your approach accordingly. My daughter used to make fun of me or poke fun with me, saying that I'm nicer to my grandkids than I was to her, and she was my only child. And of course, my concern was that she did not begin having children out of wedlock and continue the cycle of poverty. And that was a big concern that I had as she began to, go into high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I was a little more vigilant and harder on her. Whereas my grandchildren, all three of them have different, personalities. I could reason with them. I mean, we go to the movies, we have conversations, deep conversations. You'd be surprised what kind of question they will ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Children are very perceptive.
Yeah.
And I had opportunity to reason with them and talk with them and kind of guide them. And every now and then, I had to, get a little tough on one or two of them, but I mean, I believe in gentle parenting as much as I can. And here's one of the reasons why. I do realize that historically the beating that happened to our people was to instill fear. And that was traumatizing. And so my stepdad used to beat us, man, but I deserve every beating I got. I worked for that. And
Wow.
and I didn't feel like he did it out of abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tried stuff, man. I wanted to investigate, explore. When I got my butt back home, though, I got it, and I appreciate it. I'm glad, man. Look at me. I'm not dead. I'm not crazy. I've never been to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Because I come from a butt whooping community. And I understand it. I respect it, and I know how to use it when I have to. In my family. But I call all of the females in my family dear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in cursing. My children, I say dear. I kiss all of the females in my family on the forehead.
Mm-hmm.
Now my grandson, I embrace him.
Yeah.
I embrace him. And we have grown men conversations about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank God for that, man. I thank God because, my youngest grandchild, 16, and, her head screwed on right, and, she's very, kind-hearted. I have to watch that part, because everybody, out here is not receptive to kind-heartedness.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to remind her sometimes you got to be a little gangster.
Yeah, just a tad
if
bit.
somebody hit you, you make sure they understand they got to bring their lunch next time.
Mm-hmm.
But my grandkids, man, I'm proud of them, man. I'm proud of my daughter too.
That's good. That's good. Anybody have anything else they want to say on this gentle parenting? Okay, Rico. We talked about sports on here a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to talk about sports tonight, but we're going to talk about the impact of sports. How is it that doing a sports event while you're looking at TV at a game or whatever, two people that totally don't like each other, two racist people, black, white, orange, polka dot, or whatever, just racists can't stand the other person. Why is it they could go to a game, whatever the game is, whatever the sport, and when their team score, they're up high-fiving, clapping, and hugging each other and all kind of things. What is it doing that moment that kills that racism for that second?
The common goal, common interest.
Mm-hmm.
It's plain and simple. That's it. They got a common interest. You know what I'm saying? And their common interest was victorious in the end at that time. The reason why they don't agree is because they don't have the same interest when it comes to race or whatever. But Yeah, that's with anything. I think this, plain and simple, just the fact that they both have that common interest is the reason why they can get along.
Wow. Ryan, what do you say it is? Because if two people just totally don't like each other, in the average world, they don't like each other, man, and we'd be willing to kill each other if the opportunity presented itself. But during a sports event, if they go for the same team, they walk in there wearing the same outfit for the team that they like, and their team score. Now, they don't like each other. Why is it at that moment they could jump up, cheer, and high five, and hug each other? What happened to the hate?
It dissolves the ignorance. You realize, even if it's subconsciously, you realize in that moment that y'all the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you like the same stuff. It's that common ground, and it dissolves the hatred because you're not really thinking about it at that moment. You're just thinking about, my team scored. You know what I mean? So it's that trained mentality. I'm a firm believer that racism is a trained thing. It's something that you learn, something that you're taught. Because, I mean, me, for instance, all my friends growing up was black.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't think nothing about nothing until we got a little older and people started pointing stuff out. It didn't matter, we celebrate birthday parties together, sleeping over. His mama whooped my behind, my mama whooped his behind. We all the same. And then something gets taught somewhere. So I think in that moment, all of that subliminal teaching go out the window because, again, subconsciously, you just found common ground and you realize you ain't so different after all.
Wow, that's good. Kat, what do you say to that? Two people could totally not like each other, man, and on baseless terms, but not like each other. But they could be in that game together and just happen to be side by side, going for the same team. Their team score. They jump up, they high five, and they hugging each other. Whoa! And then they happy. Kat, what happened to the hate? Cap, you there? Cap might have stepped.
I'm like everybody. Find that mute button.
There you go.
Go ahead. That's
what happened to the hate? Two people that really don't like each other for baseless reason, color, skin, whatever it is, baseless reason, just don't like each other. But they go to a game and they just happen to be sitting next to each other and rooting for the same team. When their team score, what happened to the hate when they're jumping up and down, high-fiving and hugging each other and just cheering and celebrating? What happened to the hate during that time? How does sport have that impact?
Well, man, sports have the ability to unite people, and sports have the ability to divide people. So it can go the opposite way, But I think that, as Brother Rico said, common interests. I mean, just that, people vote their common interests, support their common interests, stand with their common. I think they have a common interest. We all live in the same city, and we may live in different neighborhoods, and they may be a Karen, and in the grocery market, and then put on the same jersey and they friends at the stadium.
Yeah.
It's what can I say? It's the fickleness of the world. I mean, sports is probably one of the most dominating activities that has done more to bring people of all hue, race, creed, and color into the same arena, fighting for a team. And I think it's just common interest. Like it's common interest. You go with your common interest, and like I said, it also can have two neighbors. One can have an Ohio State flag, the other can have a Georgia flag living next to each other, and they sworn enemies. Not because of color. It ain't got nothing to do because you black, I'm white. It's because you flying the wrong flag. and you with the wrong team.
Yeah.
So that's a reality too.
Good deal. Leonard, what do you say to that, man? How does sports, that moment of scoring, unite two people that really don't like each other or for ill-gotten reasons hate each other? How can sports do that?
Man, I'm rarely at a loss when it comes to certain things, conversations.
Mm-hmm.
But this, I think, is one of them times
Wow.
because I'm not into sports like that.
Man, you like them Saints, them Aints.
But not enough to sit there next to a racist white man and enjoy the game.
Wow.
He can have that ticket.
Mm.
So I don't fake like nobody like that. Or I don't know what it maybe it's just something about me or what have you, but that's where racism is the problem for me because my people don't bring that to the table. They brought that to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want no parts of that with them. You're not going to see, even like say for instance, even sports as it evolved, they didn't even want you to play.
Mm-hmm.
But soon they see they could win with you. Oh, now we supposed to be buddy. It broke down a lot of barriers. But me, no, I'm not gonna sit down and act like we cool and none of that. And next thing you know, something happened. Now you start acting like yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you ever been out drinking with certain people? They seem real cool. You think you can trust them, and they get that liquor in them.
Mm-hmm.
And then before you know it, they don't say something out of pocket.
Mm-hmm. What you just say?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You thought we was that cool?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm not gonna fool with you, period, because you're gonna cross the line and you're gonna understand that I'm not as forgiving in them situations.
Wow. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what do you say to that? Because Tucson, you've been in sports for a long time as well. How is it that sports have a way of uniting people that don't typically like each other?
The thrill of victory
Mm.
is overwhelming.
Yeah.
We don't care. We don't care who wins, as long as we win.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a we. I forgot the name of this movie.
Remember the Titans?
It was a football game.
Remember the Titans?
Titans.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That one right there. It breaks down barriers because the main thing is we
Mm-hmm.
win. We win. I thought about the gladiators. How in the days of even old, how they brought the people together. They would put two people in the arena, or they'll put a person and a lion
Mm-hmm.
in the arena. It didn't make no difference to them. It was the thrill of victory. Somebody got to win, or something has to win.
Mm-hmm.
So here they go. People that were the king, from the king to the peasant, to the jester, get together in the arena and they watch
Mm-hmm.
and they celebrate the thrill of victory and the and the agony of defeat. So somebody got to lose.
Somebody got to lose. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, it's something about that, man, and I think that people knew it because look, they made a shoot. And I'm gonna just go here for a minute. I think that the cross was a kind of a game that they were playing.
Mm-hmm.
Because they got you to pick a side, bring everybody together, and choose. We got this Jesus, and we got this Barabbas. We're gonna kill one of them, and you're gonna watch, because they are. We're trying to keep our position, and so we're gonna put this on display. Athletics is something, man. I don't watch sports because it makes your blood pressure go up. And last time I actually watched the game, it was a doubleheader, and my brother was rooting for the first team that played and they lost, and he put everybody out of his house. He says, "I don't know where y'all gonna watch the next game, but y'all gonna get out of here." So that was I had watched the game since the Saints won the Super Bowl. We actually quit while we are ahead. We won one in the history of the team. So we take our losses, and that's what I saw. But you know, when it's the thrill. Even they didn't like black people. Can I say that?
Go ahead.
But they sure in their head love Muhammad Ali
Say it.
because he was good at what he did, and he talked trash to them white folks.
Wow.
But they loved him because
remember,
he was a winner.
I remember there was one lady in that movie when I looked at the movie, and she was a Caucasian sister, and she was at all his went to all his boxing matches, went to all of them, and he saw her one day when he was leaving out the ring. He had just won again, and he said, "Congratulations, blah blah blah." Oh, you know, I see you at all my boxing matches. You're a real fan. I thank you for coming. I really appreciate your support. And she said, "No." She said, "No, I don't like you. I'm only here because when you finally lose, I want to see it." She said that when I want to be here, when you finally lose, I'm gonna buy a ticket. I'm gonna be on the floor, spend all this money. So when you finally lose, I want to see it. Man, that's some serious. That's some serious.
Raheem,
Yes.
Raheem,
Yes.
I'm sorry, but Jerry Cooney.
The Great
Y'all
White Hope.
remember him?
The Great White Hope. Yeah.
I bet you she lost a lot of money.
Wow.
You know, it goes a little, I just thought about it when we was going now, man. You know what I'm saying? That's something that common interest is one thing, but then it's also, you know, for the benefit of victory. So that starts to us versus them. So now all of a sudden, when you look at the us versus them thing, it's the same mindset that was used during 9/11 when people came together and put certain things to the side to fight the bad guy.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's the same thing when it's you know, us in war against somebody and everybody's being patriotic, you know what I'm saying? And everybody's America first. Same thing, us against them. You know, it's like whenever it's beneficial for some people to accept you and then say, okay, now it's an us thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same concept even with the sports. You know, for those that say that, you know what I'm saying, well, sports, boom. But it's the same thing with politics. Us versus them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about the black conservatives that have to sit back and vote alongside the ones that support Richard Spence and the white nationalists.
Wow.
That's tough, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that Tim Scott and those guys have to, Richard Steele, they have to pretend that the white nationalists ain't gonna listen there because they have something in common, which is economy.
What I just pray, man, that I could live long enough. God will keep me here long enough to see where we all just get along, man, and love each other. Because, you know, if I do somebody wrong, I can understand them not liking me or disliking me or hating me if it gets to that level. But if I've done nothing to you, you've done nothing to me. Why can't we all just get along and love each other?
It never made sense to me anyway for it to be too much us versus them when you all got one human race. I don't care what country you from. You know, and Reagan even said it best. What if we ever came under attack from an outside race or outside species? You know, look what happened in 9/11, how all Americans came together. You go to New York, man, New York is a rough place to get some Southern hospitality or some courtesy.
Yes, Lord.
After 9/11, man, people were speaking and being courteous. It was some of the most gentle behavior amongst people that normally don't have time to speak or even hold the door open for each other. But it soon went back there after victory or after they came together and they got the us versus them out of the way, right back to normal.
Yeah, exactly. Cap, what's on your heart, brother? We got to get ready to get on out of here. What's on your heart, Cap?
Well, I like everybody what they said, and they added with about Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali in the sports that he packed arenas, the majority of the people he united black people. You know, they loved him. I mean, of course, there was a lot of whites that liked him. Like, I do remember that one story that you just told, Brother Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, sports also unite people around a different kind of cause. It ain't all about winning the team. It's about the influence that team have on social change.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no question that during Ali's time, sports back then with Jim Brown and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, them United Sports united them of different sports persuasions for the common good of the uprising of Black people out of the condition. So it also has, you know, it ain't got to be about no win. It's got to be about the influence that these individuals have that bring about social change. I just want to say that, but thank you for giving me this opportunity. Love you, brothers. It's always good to be on the panel with great men.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Toussaint, you had something on your heart, brother? Toussaint?
Yeah, I was just thinking. I'm sorry. I was just thinking about the fact that you know, it doesn't matter if somebody's cheering for the loser.
Mm-hmm.
We might have missed that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they lose, I win because I'm betting against them.
Mm. Wow.
And that's what they did with Muhammad Ali. All we need is one white man to whoop his tail.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't happen.
Wow. Wow. Joseph?
Man,
Go ahead, Rico.
it's gonna be hard for us to get out of here, man. And Joseph, I don't know, Joseph probably gonna hit on this, man, but it sort of makes me think about how Jesse Owens had to go through what he went through, but had all the support of America when he went to Germany and won those Olympic medals. But then when he came back home, what he had to go through, and then it makes me think of those same soldiers that went over there and fought Germany and then had to come back home. You know, once again, it was a us thing.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of what you said about the high five thing. Yeah, we beat the Nazis.
Yeah,
Jesse, you won the goal. You made Hitler look bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now get on back over here and get back in your place.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Wow. Ryan, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what's on your heart, brother?
None.
Okay.
Nothing on topic anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Just
you feeling all right over there, man?
Man, I just got diagnosed yesterday with type 2. So going through these changes, cutting out the sugar, taking these medicines, having to check my blood sugar during the day and stuff like that. And it just destroys me as an individual because, you know, I'm not somebody who sits around and just let myself go. You know what I mean? I work hard. I'm physical. You know, I'm fit with the exception of my gut. And to be told, hey, guess what? You can't eat what you want no more. You can't drink what you want no more. Like, man.
But you know what, though? I'm going to tell you something. That's a small sacrifice if it's going to keep you here with your family, because I know how you love your family. That's a small sacrifice.
I mean, it's
small sacrifice.
It's not even about
Ryan,
that.
It's not a death sentence. I got type 2. It's not a death sentence, my brother. Matter of fact, thank God you got type 2 and not type 1.
Yes, sir.
You take the medicine, the metformin, okay, but you can stop it. You can treat it. Just eat right, man. I mean, I got a gut on me. Just that gut draws you right into the game. But you have to have your wife. She has to be very, you know, this is where she gonna have to step in, Ryan. She can't give you what she normally would give you if she want to see you healthy, because with type 2 diabetes, man, you know, nothing heals automatically if your sugar level's up. It's hard for things to heal. And if you go to type 1, you may lose a tooth, a foot, or a leg. But she can control it. Just I don't even want to eat. Pasta got to go, bread got to go, cheese got to go, man. Potatoes got to go, sugar got to go. I'm like, man, I mean, what is it to eat?
Yeah, everything got to go.
It ain't no fun, man. I'm like, man, please. I'm through with it. I'm just, but I'm losing weight. And my wife, it took me a while, man, because I should have I eat a whole bowl of Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
Get that sugar crave. My wife comes out. Did you eat the whole box? I'm looking crazy. Had that sugar crave, baby. Can't get enough of those sugar crisps. But you know what I'm saying? And then sometime, man, I'm on my thing. I'm like, no, Ryan, it's not a death sentence, my brother.
Yeah.
You got to make somebody, she got to help you with that, partner.
Mm-hmm.
You can control it and you really can overcome it.
Yeah.
Thank God you got type 2. And every now and then, if you want to talk to me about it, I'll give you support. I've been support, partner.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
He better take some of the pants. He better take the pants off a little bit, man, and let her have control. I know it's
she over there in Twitch right now. Mama already on it. She is too. She done called everybody in the face of the planet that she know, talking about, hey, he got type 2, and what can I do?
You can call me, Ryan. Trust me. You'd rather deal with it now than it shoot up to 400. Trust me.
Hey, that's where it was. When I first tested my blood, it was at like 450 something.
Come on, man.
It's at 193 now. So
keep working at it. Keep working at it. It takes a lot of work. It's the hardest thing in the world.
Say it again, Cap.
That's good. And listen, keep it down to below 200, and then you get your A1C down to about 7. You learn the language. It's gonna take you a minute, man.
Yeah.
All of us go, man. I mean, I had it at 400. Doctor told me somebody had it at 1,000. Let everybody get the 400 and the depth, then you get it back down. But it is what it is. But again, like I said, man, it ain't. You're not the only one that got it. So
yeah.
But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those mental games, like my A1C at a 10.5 right now. So I got to get that way down.
Yeah.
It's the lifestyle change. It's mainly the lifestyle change that he battling. He battling the fact that he got to change that diet, that pizza and whatever it is in the beer.
I'm a man. I'm being told I can't do what I want.
All them good steaks. Hey, what was that you said about those steaks a couple of weeks ago? I like me a good old steak.
No, he said I like 2 of them. I get me 2 of them.
Yeah, I only had one tonight.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he said I get me 2 of them. But listen,
I used to I know we got to go, but I used to hear people talk about gout, and then they said, "Man, I eat some seafood or something." I said, "Wasn't it good though?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
your feet when you get that pain, that's a whole nother sign that gonna come with that, man. When you get that neuropathy, man, that aching and pain in your feet, man, you go that. But again, I hear all my brothers, and they got a story to tell. But I'm telling you, brother, you're not going to get it all at once. You're going to be a mean bear around the house now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, people better tiptoe around you, partner. Oh, they got to tiptoe around you, man. You rowing and hollering at them. I know. I can't do it all once. But if you don't give me a slice of that pie, we're going to tear this kitchen up in here.
Mm-hmm.
But the doctor said you can't have no sweets. What did I say, boy? All right, okay. If she gives in, then what you eat it? Baby, why'd you give in? Why'd you give in, baby? Look at my sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
And I saw what you put up on that screen just now, brother. You can't be drinking those sodas, man. You know how that's
zero sugar, brother. It's zero sugar.
It still ain't no good for you. Look at
it. But it's gonna keep me from being that animal Cat was just talking about. At least I can pretend it's a Coke.
Lord Jesus. But listen, we're going to get on out of here, man. It's been a great broadcast, and I can't wait to see everybody in the morning for the morning glow. We're going to go around right now, give everybody a chance real quickly because we actually overtime already. It's 10:10, so we overtime. So real quickly, say what you want to say in your closing. And Tucson, if you can stick around and pray us out, brother, I definitely would appreciate that. Rico, what would you like to say in your closing, sir?
Man, just peace, man. Peace for everybody, man. And if anybody knew what was going on this morning, I finally did get a phone call from the police today. About 4 hours ago, I got a phone call, and they still ain't found them. But I got a little bit more information on what happened before then. So I'm just it's still in limbo, trying to debate, you know what I'm saying, how I want to handle this thing.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, you certainly still in our prayers, brother. Ryan, in your closing.
Hey, man, I see you over there. I see you rolling around in that head. Just like you want to support me with this, we're going to support you with that. You need anything, holla at us.
Absolutely.
Love you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Leonard.
Yeah, man, it was good talking to you all. You know, try to be better than you were yesterday.
Good deal.
And Rico, reach out to Tawanda. I've already let her know about the situation, and hopefully you'll get in contact with us so we can do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all right.
Yeah, I say it all the time, brother. It's a team sport. It's a team sport, and we family, man. We family. We team over here. We team one. We team one. Toussaint. Let's see. I see all that. Toussaint can't even find his mute button. Toussaint, where you at, man?
I was just talking. I was talking. I turned myself to my little scripture that I was going to read. And I'm going to read it. But now are they many members, but listen now, but one body.
Mm-hmm.
And the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee, nor against the head to the feet, I have no need of thee. What I'm saying is, we part of each other. When we learn that lesson, we're going to be all right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cap?
Hey, gentlemen, I appreciate you all. Thank you, Ryan, for giving this opportunity. May God bless you all, brothers.
Absolutely. Good deal. Toussaint, brother, can I get you the prayers out?
Yes, God, our Father, we come. And as we come, we give you the praise and the honor and the glory. And thank you for these brothers that's come together. But I kind of reflect on what I hear in another prayer when I think about you. Ooh, God, you're amazing. And it causes us to develop a language that just, the only thing other than hallelujah, we've developed among the brethren and those that are of DKM, we've developed a saying when it comes to you. Oh, we Jesus. Oh, we God. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for what you've done. Thank you for what you're doing. And we showing up because we walk by faith and not by sight. Thank you for what you're going to do. Bless Ryan. You know him better than he know himself. And that goes for all of us. So according to your will and your way, you are the door. So we ask, oh Heavenly Father, that you would just allow us to just accept you for who you are, the great I am. We give you glory, honor, and praise, blessings as we go through this, through the night. If it be your will, we'll worship you again in the morning. Keep us in according to your tender love and mercy. In Jesus' name and for his sake. Amen.
Amen. Amen. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and Real Men Being Men for being a part of your evening. It is now 10:14. You're about to exit Real Men Being Men. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we shine some of this light on you from the morning glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Now, what are y'all doing over there, man?
Man, it's
The
nighttime.
morning glow?
Huh?
It's
Yeah,
night.
The morning glow?
I said the morning glow.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm tired, bro. Well, Real Men Being Men. There you go. That's what this is. Real Men Being Men. Every Tuesday night from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look down and y'all just, man, I said, man, wait a minute. What just happened? Okay. We'll get it right. But you all have a great night. Take an opportunity to give somebody some love and truth. They would appreciate it, and I'm sure that you will appreciate it as well. Have a good evening. Take care of each other, and we'll see you in the morning for the Morning Glow. Love you.